Well, good morning, everybody. Mark Finan here, the home weather office on this Friday morning. Yep, we've made it through another work week. It is Friday morning. It is the 10th day of May, 2024. This is the morning briefing coming to you from the home weather office. And as I look out the window, man, it's going to be a beautiful day. Warm, probably the warmest day so far this season, with many areas in the valley seeing temperatures up around 90, 92, something like that, with light winds. Yeah, that's, if you don't like the temperatures up around 90, and at the beginning of the year, it does take a little bit of getting used to. Just take it easy in the hours between about 4 and 6. Use the morning hours when the temperatures are quite comfortable. Something I want to talk about this morning, a lot of chatter online about the northern lights tonight and how far south we may see that. And speaking of Northern California, I'm going to show you that maybe you shouldn't get your hopes up. Like I said, I know there's a lot of chatter online about it, but I'll discuss it here, whether or not you should be checking out the northern lights tonight. One thing you need to see the northern lights is clear skies, and we certainly do have that. We have clear skies in California. One thing to note here, the marine layer is starting to rebuild. It's starting to kind of creep up towards San Francisco. And with that, yesterday, San Francisco made the low 80s, 81 for high yesterday. Today, with the fog returning to the coast, immediate areas right along the coast, the beaches will be quite a bit cooler. We're starting to lose that offshore wind, and that means that the fog is starting to increase, and eventually, especially by Sunday, we'll start to see enough of an onshore breeze to bring temperatures down a little bit, with today and tomorrow being likely the warmest days in the short term. We also have a couple of clouds circulating down here into the Sierra, and we will likely see a couple of showers, maybe let's say around Mono Lake, maybe into the high country of Yosemite and farther south down toward the Bishop area. There may be some afternoon showers, but other than that, Northern California will be clear and warm. So what about the Aurora? Now this comes from the folks at NOAA, and this is their forecast for tonight for the southern extent of the Aurora Borealis. These areas in red right here, down it says likelihood of aurora. In the red area, it is highly likely. In the green area, it is possible. And then they put a line in here showing where we may or may not see it. That's kind of the southern extent of it. So if you come down and check out where California is, you can see that California is not in that. Now, there have been some cases in the past where we do have a strong geomagnetic storm that can bring the Aurora Borealis farther south, and that's what's going on here. And as you can see, if you go back east, it does go as far south as New York City and certainly New England, the line does, but areas up toward Minnesota and North Dakota certainly do get it. So what about Northern California? In a case like this in the past, there have been some spots up toward the Shasta area and Redding that have seen it. But you shouldn't, if you are in one of those areas, you shouldn't expect to see something like some of the pictures you see out of Alaska or Norway, where you get these big ribbons of green right overhead. Usually what it looks like more is just kind of like a glow on the horizon. And again, I would emphasize that I think for Northern California, you'd have to be at Redding or north even to see the chance of that. If you're in Sacramento, Stockton, Modesto, or Tahoe, it's quite unlikely that you're going to be seeing any of that. But, if you feel like it later on tonight, 11 o'clock, midnight, and if you have a clear view to the north, especially maybe if you're in Tahoe, Reno, maybe look off to the north. And certainly if you're in the Redding area or north, look off to the north, you may see it. But if you're in Sacramento, I wouldn't expect that you're going to go out to your backyard and see the northern lights tonight. So again, I wanted to bring that up because I know there's a lot of chatter online about that. All right, let's talk about our weather as we go through the next couple of days. It's going to stay relatively quiet. And so we're just going to look at the 500 millibar chart to go through the weekend and into next week. This is the pattern we have right now. On the satellite, I showed you that little area of cloud cover that's over Utah and the circulation around that, bringing those clouds into the southern Sierra. And we still have a bit of a north flow, an offshore flow aloft, but that's weakening so much that down at the surface, now keep in mind this wind flow is up at 18,000 feet. Down at the surface, we're going to start to see more of a southwesterly wind, which means that we are going to see eventual inland penetration of some of that onshore breeze and cooler air. Let's see, where are we now? This is Sunday morning. Let's go into the day on Sunday. So on Sunday, we start to see this little trough off the coast. So Sunday will still be a sunny, warm day with temperatures 90, maybe 92, but probably down 1 or 2 degrees. And as we head into Sunday evening, we'll likely see some pretty good cooling with that onshore breeze increasing. And then on Monday, from a passing weather system, we'll likely see the temperatures come down even more. This little trough right here, picking up that low. And what we're going to see as we head into the day on Monday is that goes by, temperatures stay in the 80s. And then once that clears, we get back into a north flow, clears any fog away from the coast, and another big high moves in, and temperatures for the second half of next week may even be warmer than what we're going to see today and during the day tomorrow. But nothing in the way of rain coming our way. This is all the way out to next Saturday. So yeah, if you have any outdoor plans for the next week or so, we don't have anything in the way of rain in the forecast. So let's see, today's the 10th. I just showed you the next 7 days. That gets us into mid-May. We'll likely see 1, maybe 2 more days with rain as we head through the next month or so. But at this time of year, what you tend to see is these 10-day, 2-week periods without anything in the way of rain. You may see temperatures vary from the 70s to the 90s, but getting chances of rain are pretty slim. And certainly something like what we saw last Saturday, that's not going to happen as we go forward. So yeah, there are still going to be some chances of rain going forward, but for the next week, we are going to be dry and for the most part, pretty warm. Average daytime high for this time of year for Sacramento is now 80 and will probably be above that, even though Monday will be a somewhat cooler day. We'll still likely be over 80 degrees. So that's everything I've got for you on this Friday morning. It is going to be a beautiful, warm day. Get out and enjoy it. Make it a great day. I'll talk with you later.